Well, good Thursday afternoon. It's the Thursday afternoon drive. I'd originally recorded something this morning. Unfortunately, I got long-winded and went over the the YouTube limit for length of video. So, I'm re-recording, in a sense. So, what was I ranting on this morning? Well, it was about the emergence of these right-wing extreme groups. You've seen them in the news. If you haven't, you've been sticking your head in the sand. They're extremist groups in general. As a rule, these guys are nutjobs. The one that was announced a couple days ago, these arrests, they called it a Christian militia group. Well, I don't buy the first word, Christian. I have a lot of Christian friends. I don't think they'd agree with the Christian either. It's not what Christianity teaches. These guys were a militia group. And they were nutjobs because they felt they were about to battle the Antichrist with AK-47s or AR-15s or whatever they happen to have on hand. They were going to do it by killing a law enforcement official, and then when people showed up at his funeral, setting off improvised explosive devices to kill more. Somehow that doesn't quite fit Christian. It also doesn't fit sane. And there's more of them. Almost the same time, another guy, Norman Laboon. This guy was so certifiably bug nuts. This is the guy who made video threats on Republican Representative Eric Cantor in Pennsylvania. He also made death threats and assorted threats to the president. So he's equal opportunity there. He also made threats against federal judges. He even made threats against Babe the Pig. Again, nut job. So, these guys are nut jobs. Where are they coming from? And what's my problem with them? Well, obviously I have a problem with people who are going to threaten to kill others over ideology, especially flawed ideology or just absolute nutcases. But that's really not where the problem lies for me. And looking at some of these stories, I saw a link to another group, the Second Amendment March. I'm all for people protesting, having the ability to assemble and to protest when they think their rights are going to be infringed upon. I have no problem with that. I have a little bit of a problem with these guys wanting to carry weapons while they do so. But I have to admit, there are some well-spoken people on their website who have come out very clearly and said, look, this is not about a threat of any kind. We want you to follow the laws. We want you to carry a weapon in compliance with all state and federal laws and local laws where you march. But we want to make a statement. I can understand that. But then there's the date they picked. It's the same date as the anniversary of the incident in Waco, where the Branch Davidian compound was overrun by the FBI and ATF. Which, of course, instantly makes it the anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing, where Timothy McVeigh wanted to protest against the Waco attacks, and he did it by blowing up a huge bomb at the Murrah building in Oklahoma City, a building that housed a daycare facility. Now, the people on this site, and apparently there's a board of people who decided on the date of this march. And they have actually responded on their website and said at no time did they consider that those events had happened on those dates, that there was no relation between the two. What this tells me is that either A, they're lying, or B, they're stupid. Because how could you not have figured that out? Would you not have thought of those dates? Somebody in this group, not one of them went, hey, you know, I think that's the date Waco happened. In the Oklahoma City bombings. You think that's a good day? Of course, I don't think that's what happened. I think they picked that day. They say they picked it because of a historical date 230 years ago. 240 years ago, roughly. Which just happened to be the same date. Yeah, I'm not buying it. So by picking that date, they automatically undermine their credibility. Because, let's face it, who wants to know about it? And, more scarily, they have given the real nutjobs cover. The ones who want to be patriots and take this government back by force because it's going to become a socialist country, those are the ones who are going to march with them. And now, they're going to put together a march. What do you think the odds that some nutjob is going to try to co-opt that as cover for his glory moment? To show his patriotism. And take out somebody. I think it's pretty high possibility. If I were law enforcement, I wouldn't be real happy about it. But even then, there's one more to blame. One more group. And that's these guys like Bush and Limbaugh and Hannity, Palin, who go on TV and say things like Palin did the other day, telling her Tea Party people that they weren't to give up, they were to reload. Or Beck, who calls for revolution. All of these people who will use these very charged words. But if a wacko goes and does something, I guarantee you, even if that wacko said, I heard Limbaugh tell me to do it, Rush speaks the truth, I guarantee you, Limbaugh will say, oh, he's just a wacko, I didn't say anything. And they won't take any responsibility for it. But it'll be there. So that upsets me. We don't need more wackos. We don't need excuses for more wackos. They can find enough excuses on their own, but what we don't need is this kind of heated, hated invective, this rhetoric that fires up the nutjobs, giving them a reason to coalesce into groups, into militias. We don't need them having an excuse for violence. And in the end, that's what it is. It's an excuse. And these groups get together. Somebody gets hurt. Somebody dies. It's a shame. Not a really upbeat topic, I know, but it's what was on my mind today. Hope you have a great rest of the evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.